Gang, and I'm back with another video. It's your boy Silk Living. Welcome to the new channel. So yeah, I'm in my car, but I'm having a bike conversation because since I've done my research, I'm having a different perspective of me approaching this bike life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I said I wanted a CBR 600, a Gixxer, something like that. You know, that's like fresh out, boom, that's what I want. But after watching a lot of videos and just having conversations with people who own bikes, you start to have a different perspective of reality. I have to treat it like it's brand new, even though I can drive a stick, even though I have prior knowledge of, you know, sports cars and stuff like that. I've been driving for, you know, a good amount of time. Small history of racing, I'm gonna say street racing. Not a lot legit and professional racing, which is something I'm also interested in. You know, when you get to a certain age, your eagerness to go fast kind of slows down a little bit. I'm not eager to go fast. When people hear crotch rocket, it's the first thing they think, oh, you want to go fast. Nah, I just like the look of a crotch rocket and the sound. I just want to cruise. I don't want a cruiser. I like some cruises, but the crotch rocket is just a look that I like. You know what I'm saying? You can have in a sports car and not drive fast. You just like how it looks and you like how it sounds. And you just cruising with it, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the CBR was kind of like, boom, I'm on that. And, you know, I saw the Yamaha R1s and I've seen different things and people's like, you know, after you master that 600, you're going to get bored with it. So, maybe, but it'll be my first season and I'm just cool with just getting on and learning, you know what I'm saying? Just taking my time, my pace. But this is what I learned, because after watching so many videos and talking to people, you got to give a perspective of financially. Okay, I was going to finance the bike, walking in with 10, coming all the way down to 6. But then I was thinking to myself, like, 6 ain't no money. You could really just save that and, you know, buy once, cry once, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like how I do my firearms. I don't think I want to finance 6. So this is the funny part. Once I even talked to an insurance, it depends on the bike. So then I was like, well, shit, if I'm going to buy a bike, I can buy the 400s and the 300, 250s. They cheap because they're starter bikes and you don't keep them anyway. You buy them, you learn them, and you sell them. And a lot of times, if you get a decent one, you're able to go back and get your money for it. So I was like, okay, well, what are those running? Shit, I'm running like $3,000. I actually saw a bike that I thought was cool. It looked nice. It wasn't, you know, shit for real. And they wanted $3,300. I'm like, that ain't shit. I can buy that mug. It's nice. I like it. No, it's not fast. No, it's not what I particularly want. But I can learn on it. You know what I'm saying? I can learn on this shit. I can teach my wife on this mug. So that's kind of like where I was going. And, you know, people's like, oh, it'd be a waste of money. This is that. You know, you got to realize it's your money. It's your financial spending. You got to do it the way you feel comfortable and what you want. You don't want to get out here and get on some shit like a 750, 1,000, or maybe even a 600 and kill yourself. You know, you have to treat it like you have no prior knowledge. Fresh out, don't know shit. You got to treat it like that. And then work your way up. I know bike people, but I'm not friends with bike people. Meaning, I know people that we cool, we associate, they got bikes. But I don't know nobody that'd be like, hey, yo, Charlie, let me learn on your shit. You know what I'm saying? Let me learn how to ride. I don't have nobody like that. So it's like, if I got to do this twice, then yeah, I'm cool with buying a little cheap bike, learning how to ride on that, because I'm not going nowhere. The funny part about it, and I was watching this guy, I forgot his name, but he said some really funny stuff. He was like, the guys that's on these bigger bikes, they're downgrading to these smaller bikes because they ain't really going nowhere. They just ride around the neighborhood. And I was like, well, what are you getting a bike for? Ride around the neighborhood. I just want to ride the bike up to the, you know, to the beach. I'm not even there yet. I'm not even highway ready, cross country. you know, jump on, we riding. I'm not there yet. I'm not even trying to be there yet. I'm trying to walk it down. I'm trying to be just, hey, I'm on one. You know, it's you know, yeah, it's a bitch bike, 250. It's a whatever. I'm on one. That was my main goal, because it's a commitment, and you have to see if you're committed to it. You may get it and be like, man, that's cool, but shit, this shit ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I had to like go back, sit down, and reapproach it from that perspective. Like, okay, well, let's be honest with yourself. How often, or you don't even drive a car for real no more. You drive a car probably once a week because you found different ways of transportation. You know, taking a train. I was even thinking about getting a scooter. You know what I'm saying? Also, is your bike going to be indoors or outside? People steal bikes. You don't want to go out and purchase something that's $6,000-$7,000 and then they stole it. And that's another situation that I had to think about. Like, man, I ain't trying to spend all that money on this damn bike. Somebody stole it and I still got to pay for it. So, you know, that's kind of why, that's another thing I was like, you know what? Yeah, maybe you should go ahead and get you like a little 300, a little 400, a little 250. Learn on it. Somebody take it. I ain't crying. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like, man, fuck. I'm out here. I ain't hurt. You're still a bike. You're still learning to ride. You're still, and that's kind of where I done got comfortable. Like, you know what? Yeah, bro, just chill. You know. Now my first car was a V6. You know what I'm saying? My first car was a 6-cylinder. Funny as it is, today I drive a 4-cylinder. And the 4-cylinder, I had two V6s, about 3 or 4 of them. But the 4-cylinder turbo, which is this Volkswagen I'm in now, has been the best car for me for the last, I want to say 7 years. It has. And it has because fuel efficient, family efficient, work use, it's been everything for me. So, like, sometimes you got to look, you know, at the overall, especially as an adult. Now, you live with your parents, you do what you want. But when you got you know, your own place, you got your family, how often are you going to be on this motorcycle? Will this bike be sitting outside majority of the time? Now, luckily, I got a carport where I can squeeze it in, you know, behind, you know, my sports car that needs life to it, a lot of TLC. But these are things that you think about. I've always wanted a high-end luxury vehicle, and I'm like, I do, but I don't want this motherfucker sitting outside baking in the sun. You know what I'm saying? So it's things like that. So when I looked over here, at the complex, a few guys got like scooters and shit, and I think a moped. One dude has a bike. I was always fascinated by his, but then once I got to like do my research, watch my YouTube videos, that's when I realized that ain't no 600. That's a 400. That's a 250. Because of the furlings, or I don't know how you say that, but it's the cosmetics that sits on the bike. It makes you think it's like a leader bike, like it's on some real shit, but it's not. And I'm like, well, bro ride this motherfucker every day. And, you know what I'm saying? He ride to work. Like, I see bro all the time, and I like it. I like his shit. So, you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm kind of like, oh, so that's how they doing bikes like that? And then I did some research, and that's how they do bikes. Matter of fact, I'm right here by it now. Ain't on shit. It ain't on shit. Like, it's not a leader bike, but it's one of them, you know, it's one of them 250s. It's one of them low ends. So what? He riding, and that's the whole point of all of it. He's riding. That was the whole point. It was a step up, and I think bro might have had a moped or something. I think bro might have had a moped, but he stepped up, and you know, to be honest, that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna look at the brand he got. I'm gonna jump off for a minute. All right, gang. So I just looked his bike up. It's a CX VR or something like that. I'm gonna post a picture of his and then what it looks like on Google. I just did some research. It's a 250. Point proven. Point proven. And when his friends saw it, I remember I came outside. I think I was going inside or whatever. I was coming from work or whatever. And all his friends was outside and they were just excited like, yo, bro, you know, you did it. You know what I'm saying? Same reaction. And bro riding that. It's a 250. And I know he don't go nowhere far. He go to work and he come back. But that's exactly where I'm at. You know, now I'm saying I'm going to buy a 250. But because I know they train you on those bikes. But, you know, that's just, again, it just kind of proves my point. Just starting out on something cheap. Now, if you can get a CB, or you can get a good bike, from what I'm being told, if you can get a good bike for a good price, go ahead. But if you want to just chill on these bikes that are 300s, 400s, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. People who own bikes are going to be the only ones who know that you own, you know, the baby bike. That's what I call it. They're going to be the only ones to be like, oh, that's a, you know. But what I do like about the bike community, from what I saw, I don't have personal experience, but what I could say I saw just from YouTube is the riders who had the new bikes, not the new bikes, but the, you know, the 300s, the 400s, they got respect from the older guys because they understood I was there at one time. Oh, I get it. It's your first. You're trying to learn how to ride. So I can't do nothing but give you advice. The only dickheads you found was people who was on 1,000 and then you was on 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Or you on 1,000 and then you on a 750 and he's kind of like giving you shit because he's a step higher. Those are only like YouTube videos I found, but from the most part, there was a lot of people first time riding experience and they were like, shit, man, I started right here. Because you can always swap them out. And everybody said they had two bikes. Eventually they sold one. And when you look online, it's a shitload of bikes. It's insane how many bikes. I've never, like, now that I'm like really doing research and let me look at this shit. Man, my list has went from like 2 bikes to about 6 bikes. And they're all low level. I call them low level bikes. I don't really know the term yet, but they all low level bikes. You know what I'm saying? They 250s and they 300s. When I seen his bike, I'm like, damn, that motherfucker little. But then after a while, I was kind of like, oh, it's a 250. Oh, okay. And he leave that motherfucker right outside. You know what I'm saying? And I see why he ain't tripping. Because he only spent a couple grand. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. So, I fuck with that. I totally understand. I fuck with that. And it's probably like a little knockoff brand, but it get the job done. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, shit. Hey, I seen I think it's called the Yamaha R3. I fuck with that. You know, now you can get one of them brand new for like maybe like 5 or 6. And it's nice. But if I ain't gotta pay that, and I can get one for the low. Financing is not bad. It's just if you can just, you know, boom, take that hit, you feel it for the first month, but after that you good. It's kind of like shit. I rather go that route. But it not to say that, you know, you still may find one for the same price. My thing is, because I'm new to it, I don't want to get something that I got to throw in the shop to get fixed. Or I don't want to get something like, damn, I want to ride. Like, I want to learn. So, and that's just kind of why I was like, oh, I'll just finance it. Because I got a better shot of getting something new, you know, low level new that I fuck with. I'm going to have it for a minute. Most people say, oh, you know, you're going to get tired of it, get bored with it. I probably will. To me, it's just money. I'm looking for the experience. I'm trying to get my experience. Yeah, I probably can dog out this little 250, 300. Great. I mean, I'm comfortable with it. That mean I'm riding it. You know, I ain't afraid of it. That's where I'm at. When I first get it, I'm afraid of it. You know. And when I go to this class, I probably will be like, oh, this ain't shit. Great. But when you get out on that road, you get around other people, you know, those other variables, other things change. You know what I'm saying? So, not to ramble so much, you know, man. This is my new channel. I just feel like this content's a lot different than the guns, the traveling, the financial, and the mindset. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? Let's run a new channel. I don't have a name for it yet. We're gonna come up with something, you know, to, you know, what we do, what I'm about.
Living Studio. living